Welcome to the Careers Unfiltered podcast with Mentoria. You may know your dream job, you may know your dream career, but do you know what goes on behind the scenes in your chosen career path? Have you been able to separate the glamour from the reality in your career? Do you know the good, the bad, and the ugly in your career? Most people walk into their careers without having any idea in terms of what really happens in that career, how to crack success, how to get the right job, how to grow in the career. Don't be those people. Get the ins and outs of your career path through some of the best subject matter experts and industry professionals that Mentoria will bring to you on the Careers Unfiltered podcast.
But the scope is very good because we see a lot of issues coming, new kind of issues are coming each and every day. Rehabilitation psychology is a specialty area within psychology, and it's committed to enhancement of the quality of life and promotion of the rights and dignity of individuals with special abilities. So, rehabilitation psychologists, they work with individuals across the lifespan, those who are affected physically, cognitively, emotionally, with developmental disabilities. So, there the role of a rehabilitation psychologist becomes very crucial in assessing and addressing the psychological and emotional aspects of special persons with special abilities. Psychologists are very accepting, okay? And that is how the field of psychology is. No matter if you're coming from an arts background or a science background, it's biology or mathematics, each and every individual can get themselves enrolled in an undergrad program, which is typically a BSc or a BA in psychology, or it can be a generic BA or BSc, right? Just the nomenclature differs when in the undergrad thing. Similarly, then they go for a master's. Nowadays, we have, not nowadays, from very long time, we have masters in organizational psychology, or let's say clinical psychology or counseling psychology. So then they can pursue with that after undergraduation, masters. But it is very interesting to know that because of the new education policy now, since I told you I'm a full-time academician, right? So there's a new education policy, and there have been a lot of structural changes in the course structure. Now we will be having a 4-year BA program or a BSc program, after which individuals can enroll themselves for a 1-year master's program in the said specialization. So this is how it was, and this is how now it is going to be. We have started with the 4-year program in BA, and then for 1 year they can enroll themselves for a master's. With that, I would like to not name any other institution because then it limits what can I say, opportunities or what are the options do they have. But of course, if we talk about the international standards, I think most of the universities who are doing good in medical sciences, let's say John Hopkins, be it Harvard, be it Oxford, they are offering amazing and great and very, very specialized programs in psychology, let's say military psychology, forensic psychology, or existential psychology, applied behavioral psychology. And in India, of course, all the universities are doing their best. And if you talk about the best, or let's say the Harvard for India would be NIMHANS, National Institute for Mental Health and Allied Sciences in Bangalore. It's a very, very old institution, and it's a very standard institution. Let's say that is the mecca for psychology in India at least. Then we have one in Chandigarh, PJ Chandigarh, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
And we have Rinpas in Ranchi Institute for that. So these are top 3. But students, they are not aware that these are the institutions who will be offering you research degrees, or let's say professional degrees, MPhil, PG diploma or PhDs. They don't offer you an undergrad or a master's program, at least most of them.
Okay.
So that's why I said doing a undergraduation and master's from a good university is fine. And after that, you can, if you're serious with your practice and serious with your discipline, you can go for it. In India, we have good competitive exam. There is no one particular exam. We have in case of engineering, let's say IIT, or we have in case of medicine, let's say NEET. But all the universities have their own sort of examinations. Nowadays, we are coming up with Central University Entrance Exam, Entrance Test (CUET), which majorly offers admissions for most of the Central University. As I told you, I'm a full-time academician. Sorry to repeat it again and again. So my 9 to 5, I am in the university with the students, delivering lectures and everything. And after that, when I am with my practice, I take clients. So thanks to the technological advancements nowadays, we can have online client basis. Usually with rehabilitation psychology, it requires you to be on field with them to see their day-to-day progression, to educate the community, to sensitize the surroundingness, to sensitize the family. Let's say, the meaning of rehabilitation in Hindi, we have a very beautiful word for it. I hope we can be bilingual with this. So in Hindi, we call it punarvas, which means bringing people back to mainstream. Okay? Or those who were in mainstream but somehow they are not now. Maybe it could be because of an injury, maybe it could be because of any developmental issues, maybe it could be because of any other thing. So punarvas means bringing people back to the mainstream, and those who were never a part of mainstream, empowering them. There are two ways: either you empower them, you make them this capable so that they can be the mainstream, or we can make the mainstream accessible for them. So that's why in my practice, it's usually a combination. It's a collaborative efforts with the other therapists, the other doctors. Majorly, I work with the special educators, with the very young children who might be facing some learning difficulties, or specially able children who to make them educate, to make them independent is the major way of that. So my day is first a blend of teaching, learning new skills, and then applying it. So one thing, research is very important. Reading new books is again very important. Then third thing is the community, the peers. I believe psychologists in India, they lack a good community. They lack, maybe I'm not a part of it, I don't know. But peers are the best way of new information, new skills. Third thing is regular practice, being in touch with your mentors, being explorative and curious. These all things are very important to keep myself updated. And one thing is to have optimum and appropriate measures to see what cases you can handle and what you cannot. To know your limits is very important. You cannot waste 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months of a person in hope. If you know that you will not be able to contribute to it, you should not. So to keep myself updated, research, reading, being with peers, and practicing more and more. It is true, but not in all ways. Like, of course, we also work with them. As I told you, the punarvas thing means to bring them back to the mainstream. And of course, a chronic illness or a chronic physical injury or ailment, you see a person will be suffering with a lot of self-doubts, maybe a lot of trauma, post-traumatic stress. So of course, yes, we also work with them. It's not a myth or no misconception, but not only with them. I would like to disagree with it, because as I told you, and let's say in case of rehab, de-addiction, a person come for de-addiction, and we all know that years of dependence on any substance also brings a lot of neurotransmitter, neurological, physical dependencies, physical changes, and each and everything, right? So it is not just that a psychologist can help with that, because you should all know, be it a rehabilitation psychologist, be it a clinical psychologist, we are not allowed to prescribe medicines. We cannot suggest or advise people to take any particular drug. So in that case, you do need a doctor. Okay, let's say a person is suffering from a sports injury. Now in that case, they will also be needing physiotherapy. It's not just that a rehabilitation psychologist will have that. So No, they cannot work here. That's what I believe. There has to be a collaborative effort with the doctor, other. First thing is to be a psychologist. This is what I always say to my students, to anyone, to everyone. What does it mean to be a psychologist? You should have the basic skills. You should be empathetic. You should be a good listener. You should be a good observer. Being a good observer, I think you should be the best of the observers. If I'm seeing you today and if I'm seeing you tomorrow, I should be tell you. This is what I personally believe. It is not written in any course book or in any text. I should be able to tell you, hey, did you change your specs? I expect this kind of observation skills from all students. Then you should be unbiased. Unbiased doesn't mean that you should be non-judgmental or yes, of course, means non-judgmental, but it doesn't mean that you should not be bothered by others. Because if you see, you should be able to take quick judgments, not quick, but well-defined, and let's say rational judgments you should be able to take. That's what basically being a psychologist means. And then the most important thing is the feeling to serve, the feeling to volunteer, the feeling to devote yourself for the betterment of others. So these are the top 5 skills, or maybe I say. First thing is awareness. Lack of awareness would be an appropriate word. Second thing is acceptance in the society, acceptance in people regarding going to a psychologist. And third thing is the collaboration, which is missing. Let's say in case of a school, a school, since the right to education, we have right to education. Any student who is especially able is allowed to study in a normal school. Let's say in case of visual impairment, they are allowed to study in normal school. But in how many schools would you find such students? Even if there are, parents are usually taking care of the needs which the school should have done. So let's say in school you need a team of a special educator, you need a psychologist, be it a school psychologist or a counseling psychologist. You need a rehabilitation, not exactly rehabilitation psychologist. Then you need you need people who can give them support. Who the teacher should be educated for that. So there's a lot of lack of awareness, collaborative efforts, and acceptance, or the taboo which is related to psychology all over there. So I believe collaboration is very, very important.